This podcast is brought to you by the Oddities Coffee Shop and Novelty Store, located at 4182 Cordata Parkway here in Bellingham, Washington. We're serving up organic coffee from Camano Island Coffee Roasters, and we have freshly baked pastries from Avenue Bread, delicious donuts from LaFine's, and warm bagels from the Baglery. We carry toys, gifts, games, and unique items for your home, so please come on down and check us out.
You're listening to the Oddities Podcast.
It's like, here's a water bottle, do better.
Yeah, I'm terrible at it. Also, like, I get really busy working, and I just, also, even when I'm thirsty, my body's like, hey, drink some water. I go, okay, I'm good.
And then
like,
you set it down.
I'm quickly, like, satisfied where I don't feel the need to go. Like, I have to force myself to hydrate. And then, like, I never pee, or I do, and it's, like, super yellow. I'm like, oh, shit.
I just, like, forget. And then I lose the water bottle.
Uh-huh.
But everyone in my life knows that I'm, like, so ADHD about losing things that, like, people just hand me water bottles every couple months.
By the way, so I do follow you, 1uplounge. What's your IG handle? Shout that out. Is it just 1uplounge?
1uplounge.
There's no, like, little squigglies?
There may be a squiggly.
Yeah. Feel free to take a look.
So my brilliant and beautiful wife is smarter than me and does
Shout
everything.
Out to Alex. Happy
Shout out to
birthday
Alex.
She just had a birthday, huh?
Yeah. She's everything everything better than me, everything smarter than me, and knows all the things off the top of her head that I do not.
That's good.
I don't even know how to check an Instagram handle.
Well, let me just check.
I just post memes.
Do you do all the posting, or does
I do
you
all
guys
the
both
posting.
do?
God, I don't even get to post memes anymore. I tried my first barbecue meme
Uh-huh.
because, like if you think about like demographics in the algorithm and how, you know, people see what you post based off of, you know, how many likes and clicks and all these things it gets in a short period of time, and our following is a nerd following. Like we've built this as a nerd bar, and now all those people that follow us as a nerd bar are getting barbecue pictures, and the numbers like we pretty much gain and lose about the same every day. And I'm like, I'm just filtering out this following I worked so hard for. And I tried my hand at my first barbecue meme the other day, and it did well.
Oh, it did nice.
Because you know that your feed is all pretty much just the same things. Like you follow the same things. Like you know what to expect. And if one of your video game businesses was like barbecue, you'd be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, it's so interesting with the followers, especially being a business owner. Like, it's almost like not only do you have to be good at owning and running a business in terms of like all the work that's involved, the hiring, the organization, the look, the feel, the pricing, the bookkeeping, the blah, 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 the marketing. But like then you have to become like an expert on social media where you got to make these posts. And if it's longer than a minute, then you have to go IGTV, and you have to like change the aspect ratio and then just learning how to like put out content that people want to see, and it's exciting, and it's not the same shit like all the time. Because I, as a person who owns a coffee shop, I don't just want to post like coffee every day. Like here's coffee, like you have to like post other things like giveaways, and here you can win this, and here this is free, and like here's just a picture of a cute puppy. Like you just got to do random.
Cute puppies always do well.
Yeah, those track well.
Yeah.
So, but tell me about how you got started at first, because before 1uplounge you were what?
Oh man, how far back into the Wayback Machine would you like to go?
We got as much time as you want to go. I want to go back to the beginning because I want to know like how you got started. Whose idea was it? Like,
oh man, so I guess
first
we
of all,
can go back.
Let's start with this. Where you from? Do a 60-second intro on where you're from, who you are, where you're from, how you made it up to Bellingham.
Cool.
And then say, I currently own this business, and then we could do the whole backstory.
Right on. Cool. So I'm Hugh Newmark. My wife Alex and I own the 1Up Lounge, which currently is Uncle Hugh's Barbecue by 1Up Lounge. Going back, I'm originally from St. Pete, Florida, which I absolutely love. If you ever go to Florida, go to St. Pete. And around 2011, 2012, my sister ended up coming to stay with me for a little bit, and I was like, hey, the coolest thing I can do for you before you turn 18 is get you out of Florida. And if you look at Florida and you look at Bellingham on a map, they are about as far as you can get from each other, and that's more or less how I ended up here. It was just like, how far can we get? You know,
and did you know someone in Bellingham, or how'd you even know Bellingham existed?
All right, so I knew one person in Bellingham.
Okay.
He was someone that I had been friends with, and he was like, hey, I work at this dispensary. You know, the owners don't like each other, and it's possibly up for sale. Would you be interested in that? And I had a very successful distribution company, which I just bought things in big quantities and then packaged them in smaller quantities and then sold them and made fucking everyone.
What were you?
It was mostly business to business. I was mostly doing just pipes, like in from China and then out.
Oh,
and,
nice. Okay.
You know, now we like American glass, but made lots of money buying a 50-cent pipe and then selling it for $1.50 times $2,000-3,000.
Yep.
It was nuts.
Uh-huh.
I made way more money than someone in their early 20s should have made.
Uh-huh.
And I ended up buying into this dispensary, and it was awesome.
Uh-huh.
And I got tricked too. They brought me out here for the first time. They're like, you got to come see Bellingham. It's so pretty. And I came out here pretty much this time. Like, it was like mid-September, and it was so good. And I loved it. I was like, oh my God, it's so pretty. And they took me up to like Artist Point. I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful
They're
here.
selling you on it. And how many years ago was this?
This was 2012.
Okay, about 8 years. Okay.
And then, I sign the documents, buy the dispensary, everything goes well. It takes me, a couple weeks to finish it up. I was still in school, and I ended up going back and forth. But the second time I came to Bellingham was in like November. And Bellingham in November looks drastically different than Bellingham in September.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I've been duped.
September's are pretty fall colors.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I loved it though. I was like, oh my God, give me this rain, give me this snow. Like, I'm all here for it. And then it snowed that year, and then it didn't snow again for like the next 3-4 years. I was like, I wanted the snow. I just got this. It's just been drizzling for 6 months. No, Bellingham's beautiful. And I got into the dispensary business, and then that fell through because don't ever have a business partner if you can help it. Pro tip: if you have a business partner with a wife, you also marry their wife. And that was what I learned from my first dispensary.
Wow. Say that again. One more time for everyone. I heard it. I want you to say it again, though.
If you have a business partner and they are married, you are also marrying their partner.
Ugh.
And it was a very valuable lesson that I learned.
I'm exhausted already.
Oh, God. We parted ways and then, like, literally never talked again.
So what happens, man, like, a side note to what you just said, also as a business owner, I have hired friends who I'm no longer friends with.
It's so hard, you can't do it.
Yeah, they worked for me for like, say, 2.5 years. Well, it's not true. Well, one particular, we were friends before I hired her. We were friends for probably like 7 years. Hired her. She worked for me for 2.5 years as my warehouse manager. And then was starting to have anxiety about a lot of things, was starting to become unhappy with the pay. And I was paying her really, really well. Like, I mean, we're talking like $35 an hour when you break it down. And she was only working part-time. So she was on a salary, and she was working part-time. And when you broke it down per hour, how much she was making, it was about $35 an hour. And she still wanted more. And I was like, I'm not paying you any more than that. That's
a lot of money.
You're making some good money for what you're working. No one's making that much money. So to kind of sum it up, I sell on Amazon, as most people know. I used to pay her for every item that you slap a label on, you get 50 cents. This is when the business was in my garage.
Easy money.
When I was small time scale, and she was making that. When the business ramped up to the point where we're doing like, I don't know, like thousands and thousands of items a week, I was like, hey, that was under the table, that 50 cents. But now I'm a legit business. I have a corporation now.
Oh, and then the taxes come out, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa.
I have to put you on the books, payroll. We could do like a salary. I asked her, well, how do you want to do it? I gave her a couple options. She chose this option of salary. And then over time, though, she became unhappy with it because she remembers back in the good old days when she was getting 50 cents an item, and now we're processing thousands and thousands of more items. So in her mind, she's like, God, if this was the old system of pay, I'd be making like $5,000 a month or something, something crazy.
Shout out to the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Assistance of 2020 for rewarding all of the businesses and employees that are not operating under the table. Because back in the dispensary days, it was very much like semi under the table. Like there really was, and this was before 502 and before recreational. Like there was no good legal avenue way to do everything, and like
with dispensaries, how did you do that? You had to keep all cash on hand, and like,
oh my God, like. I just got so used to having like way too much
you
cash.
Just carry a gun with you everywhere? Or what?
I've never even owned a firearm. No, I would just like carry like $20,000 of cash in like a brown paper lunch sack because I figured I was much less likely to get robbed for my lunch than I would have been if I had like, something that looks like it should be carrying a lot of money, and like
a suitcase with a handcuff to your wrist.
Yeah, and you just like meet people in like the parking lot. God. My go-to parking lot was the Bob's Burgers in Marysville because it was so central. And I used to go and buy like $10,000-$20,000 worth of weed in the back of that parking lot. And like, like it was good. Everything was there was no really good legal way to do that.
Yeah.
And like now everything we do is like we run a bar, so everything there is no good way to do that like other than the right way.
Yeah.
So like everything is, hyper legitimate. Like again, my wife is just anything that makes our business function is because she did it. I just smile and like write good recipes.
How long were you a business partner with the dispensary? how long were you guys a thing, doing your thing? How
Oh
many
my
years?
God, not even a year.
No, oh wow.
No, it fell through pretty quick.
And what was it that like made it break up? Was it like I know it was like your partner and his wife, just a disagreement between all three of you, or like what was the thing that
She hated me more than I've ever known it possible for a person to hate a person. And
she hated you
she hated me.
right from the start?
No,
What?
no, we were friends at the start. And
Uh-huh.
like, there's just a thing. And like, I was in my early 20s. Like, I was, I think, like 22, 23 at the time.
Mhm.
And there's just a thing where like, some people can't respect someone that much younger than them in a position of power.
How
'Cause,
old
like,
was she?
I don't know.
But you were
Probably
21 or 22.
40s.
Oh, she was that old.
Yeah, no, they were much older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like, and I brought all the money to the table, and they were supposed to bring all the talent to the table, and there was just no real talent there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy grew
Wow.
crappy weed. What are you gonna do?
And so what happens after a year? That goes under.
Oh yeah. So we actually split ways, and
And were you married at this time?
no, I didn't
No,
even know my
okay.
wife yet. I was.
Okay.
This was like right before Tinder happened, so I was like, how do you
Uh-huh.
how do you even meet women in this society?
Yeah.
So that goes. We ended up just breaking apart and closing the business. Basically said, you keep the garden, I'll keep the dispensary, and I closed the dispensary. I was moved back to Florida. Washington didn't work, and then like so many of my patients reached out and they were like, we are where you get your medicine. Can you please give it another try? Like, we'll still support you. And I was like, all right, this is wholesome.
Yeah.
So we reopened as Best Buds Collective Gardens,
Okay.
and
Located.
it was on Meridian Street, 2518 Meridian. Now it's an Airbnb.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, someone bought it and gutted it and made it like really pretty on the inside. Sometimes I'll like find the Airbnb and I'm like, man, look at those floors. I would have made, beautiful. Also, for those of you new to Bellingham, in 2012, I paid $950 for 1,200 square feet of retail space on Meridian Street.
How much?
Like $950.
For 1,200 square feet?
Yeah.
Damn.
I
dude.
know.
That's
And that, I think that
insane.
might have also included water.
How long ago was this?
8 years now?
Wow. That's nuts, man.
God, I don't even want to talk about how much I pay for my spot in Fairhaven.
I bet Fairhaven's. Well, before I opened up the coffee shop, 4182 Cordata Parkway. Before I opened up the coffee shop, I had made an offer. Myself, my real estate agent, we made an offer to a place in Fairhaven. It was right where Edeline Dairy moved in, their new ice cream shop. So I had tried to get that spot as well. With like, there's 4 of us vying for it, and ultimately the landlord went with Edeline Dairy for the ice cream.
Seems pretty solid.
But that spot is half the size of my current spot with the same amount of rent, the same amount.
Oh,
like,
I believe it.
Like I have literally double the square footage, maybe even a little bit more for the same exact price. Of course, you're paying for location. Fairhaven has a lot more traffic. I'm happy with where I'm at. Well, at least where I'm at now was great pre-COVID. COVID, the furniture store next to us went out of business. The college got shut down.
Oh man.
So that just eliminated most of our traffic.
Are you surviving on regulars right now?
Surviving on regulars, the Department of Licensing, and just the simple fact that we sell on Amazon. So because of our Amazon sales, I'm not like freaking out like, oh my God.
Well,
I'm
look at
fucked.
you being a smart entrepreneur and setting up multiple revenue streams to sustain yourself through a pandemic.
Well, you have to. And honestly, I mean, I have been selling on Amazon 7.5 years. I've had the store, it'll be a year in November, but Amazon was my only income stream. And I'm like, you know what? I want to set up another income stream. Also, a lot of companies we were doing business with, they didn't like the fact that we just sold on Amazon. They wanted a lot of people to have like brick and mortar stores as well. So to set myself apart from other Amazon sellers in the competition,
you put together an address you can Google.
And to make myself more attractive to these companies, I was like, we got a retail store now too, and we got a podcast, so we can also promote your products there, and da 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 da. But then yeah, open for a few months, COVID, sorry, shut down. And so, but if I was a typical just brick and mortar store, I'd be screwed out of business because without the online sales to keep us afloat, I mean, there's no way we're not making enough money on a daily business in the store to cover the daily cost of even being open.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, if I didn't have that, it's like bye-bye, out of business. And I saw in the news that 60% of small businesses have got out of business because of COVID.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's rough times across this country, man. But back to you.
Oh man, so I'll quickly go through the next couple years.
Well, you can go.
I could get stuck on dispensaries forever.
We got plenty of time, but you take it wherever you want.
So open up my own dispensary, hired a whole bunch of members of my family. My mom made the edibles and like.
This is
my
back
brother...
in Florida?
No, this is here.
So so you brought them all with you?
Oh man. So
Okay.
So I moved from Florida,
Uh-huh.
and I was bringing my sister and her boyfriend, who is essentially my brother.
Okay.
My sister Risa, who works at Trailblazing Productions, buy their weed,
Uh-huh.
and my brother-in-law Boer, who works at Dancing Gypsies Cannabis, buy her weed at his store.
Nice.
Big ol' shout outs.
Uh-huh.
So we were moving up here, and then my brother DJ was supposed to be helping us drive. That was the plan. We had a truck and a trailer and a car and like 700 dogs, and we're driving across the country. And I forget exactly where we were. I want to say we were in Oregon. We were like home stretch, and my brother, who I love, goes, "Surprise! I've already got a job and a place lined up. I'm moving to Bellingham too. I threw my stuff in your trailer when you weren't looking." So that was cool. They all didn't work for us right away.
Yeah.
But like after the year when we reorganized, and then my mom's like, "Hey, everyone's moved to Bellingham. I want to move to Bellingham." And then my brother moves here, and now we're all here. Like I accidentally relocated like a whole family to Bellingham, but it's cool. We're all productive members. We contribute.
Well, that's cool.
So
sounds like you got a tight family.
Oh, my family's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
So one dispensary, it starts going really well. Like, oh my God, turns out if you don't have someone, we found out later, stealing lots of money from you, turns out that, it's a very worthwhile and profitable business if you do it right. We were always patient first. We did everything right. Like,
but someone was stealing money.
Oh, that was so it was Natural Remedies when I had the partner. Partnership breaks up. I opened Best Buds. Best Buds, with nothing there for leadership except for me, just took off, did super well. One store turned into 2 stores, turned into 3 stores.
Oh, nice.
And then recreational came in and knocked all the medical guys out of business, and that's where I was. So somewhere in there, I met my beautiful, beautiful wife, and now we're married, and we were engaged when everything shut down. And we had this idea, her and I, to open this nerd bar. It would be all retro games. We were like, if you run the numbers, if you had retro games and beer in Bellingham, it would totally work. So we did that. And I asked her to marry me about halfway through. She said yes. And we were like, well, what about the business? And I was like, well, if you're getting half my shit anyway, you're jumping on board and you're helping. She was like 20 at the time. She like,
so who's the big gamer? You guys both big gamers?
Oh, both of us for sure. Like I had just like exclusively dated women from the cannabis community for so long that I just like hated it. Oh my God, it's just like,
why did you hate it? Like, what did you hate about it?
So if you can just like rewind the clock back to like the 2012 to 2015 range, cannabis being illegal, it was just so try-hardy. Like, it was like everyone was like trying harder than everyone else to just love weed more than everyone else. It's just exhausting. Like how much tie-dye can a person own? Like I know you listen to more than just Bob Marley. Like just like take like 20% off the top. And I don't know. It just got old. Like it just, I don't know. I wanted to like not necessarily date in the field that I lived in and have 24 hours of my life revolve around cannabis because like, I love it and all, but 24 hours of your day in anything, it just wears on you.
Exhausting, yeah.
So I made a Tinder, and I met my wife on Tinder, which is just...
How soon? How soon into the Tinder download? Swipe.
Pretty soon.
Yeah?
Pretty soon. There were a couple fun escapades. I don't know. I really feel bad for all the dudes on Tinder right now because, like, I had much success, like, dating in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I'm
on Tinder right now, and I match with a lot of girls in Canada.
And it's a beautiful thing when you can go there.
I know, and you can't now.
Oh my God.
It's just like...
I can't even begin to tell you. You get to the... So I now drive a Subaru like everyone else in the world.
Me too.
But, like, when I moved here, I was, like, a big old hot shot making all this money. And I'm, like... I drove a Mercedes and, like, did the thing and, like, looked cool and did all that. So, I pull up 25 years old in a Mercedes at the border, and they're like, where are you going on a Tinder date? What do you do for a living? I own 3 dispensaries. Oh, cool. And like,
Search for sure.
Like 100% of the time, they would slap the sticker on my car. Like I would factor it into my like Tinder dates. Like, hey, I'm gonna leave at 5. I'll be there at 8.
Yeah.
Sorry, you live 45 minutes away from me.
I remember last year I was driving up to Canada to meet a girl I met on Tinder or whatever, and I went through, not the one, like if you drive straight up I-5, you hit that crossing, the Peace Arch one. It wasn't that one. It was the one over at, was it the one in Blaine? It was a different one.
I think there's one, if you go through, it's like Sumas.
I think it might have been that one.
Or if you just take the guide forever.
It was in the winter. It was kind of wet, a little snow. But I'm pulling up, 0 cars at this crossing. I'm thinking, dude,
this is gonna take no time at all.
Lottery, dude. Finally, like for
jokes on you. That gives them all the time in the world to fuck with you.
Yeah, and like I've gone through the border so many times. I know all the questions, right? Where you going? Who you meeting? How do you know them? Where'd you meet them?
They
When
really
you
don't
coming
love the
back?
answer Tinder.
Yeah, and they have no personality. They don't smile. They don't make eye contact. It's like looking at you deadpan, like no emotion, dead behind the eyes, like they're interrogating you. And you're like, oh my God.
You're like, bro, look at this shirt I'm wearing
Yeah.
at 9 at night. Obviously, I'm trying
And
to
it's
meet a
like,
girl.
I answer all their questions like a pro because I've done this before. I'm not nervous. It's like, all right, they just pull on over. I'm like, Jesus, are you serious, dude? And so I walk into the building, no one there, 6 Border Patrol officers behind the counter doing nothing because it's just dead and slow.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he asked me the boring, I don't remember what he asked me, just boring questions. Dogs come out, do the thing. Okay, you can go. It's like, thanks, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Just because my car, I got a 4-door Subaru with tinted windows and a spoiler on the back. I'm 40. I've had this car for a while now. It was the only one I could get at the dealership I went to. I don't like Fords and domestic cars. I like foreign cars. The dealership back home in Port Angeles, when I had bad credit, this was the only car I could get, and my mom co-signed on it because that's the one I wanted. But it looks like something someone would drive where they don't want to be seen and they're selling drugs or they're in high school, like the tinted windows, the spoiler on the back. So it's like a red flag, right? Kind of like you with the Mercedes.
Totally.
They see it and like, this fool. Get him.
Get him.
Pull over.
God, and they would have, okay, it got to the point. So, like, I was, like, seeing a girl, like, very regular, like, super, super cool girl. I don't know where she is in the world, but I hope she's doing well.
Shout out to her.
I was seeing her when I met the woman that was my wife, or the woman that was going to become my wife, and I messaged her, and I was like, hey, like, I hung out with my wife one time, and I messaged this girl, and I was like, hey, you're, like, a lot of fun, and that's what I was looking for, but I'm probably going to marry this girl.
Well, shut up. One time you met your wife?
First time we hung out.
What did you guys do? You get coffee or what? I mean, if you did
oh my
more
God.
than that,
Oh
you
no,
don't tell me. But
it's no, it's excellent. Super sketch balls. I pick her up at the Walgreens in Cedro Woolley. It was like late at night.
So you're living in Bellingham. Set the scene. You drive down to Cedro Woolley.
Drive down to Cedro Woolley. I'd never been to Cedro
Why you
Woolley
picking her up
before.
at the Walgreens?
Because that's what has a light in Cedro Woolley.
Okay.
Cedro Woolley is such an interesting place. I don't go there often.
Uh-huh.
So, and I learned this later that the only reason she had agreed to see me was because she was supposed to be seeing the guy that she was seeing on Tinder, and he blew her off, and she'd already done her makeup.
Wow.
So that's why she agreed to see me, because her face was already done, which thanks for all that synergy working out.
Well, thanks to that dude.
Yeah, thanks for that.
That
so
dude hooked you up.
That dude hooked me up hard. I fucked with him one time. One time he like messaged her on Xbox Live while I was playing on her account, and he was like,
"What did you say?
I miss your face."
Like, bitch.
I was like, oh, hey, it's her husband, John from Tinder. Which part of her face do you specifically miss? Because I'll tell her for you. And then we never heard from John from Tinder again.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm usually not that savage, but occasionally.
No, dude, it's fine.
I stopped a game of Overwatch to rip this guy up.
What a hilarious story.
So I meet her in the Cedro Woolley parking lot, and we just drove around, and we must have smoked like 30, 40 joints that night.
Holy
just like
fuck,
driving
dude.
around and listening to music. Then I think at some point we went to Sherry's and got junk food, and like we just sat there at this table.
You get pie?
And I don't remember. I think I got the pie
Probably so
milkshakes.
high you don't remember, but if you are high, it's probably what you would have got.
Exactly. I feel like the odds of pie are pretty solid. And we both were just going through our meme folders, and like I had never encountered another human being that had a meme folder and was proud of their meme folder, and we just swapped memes for like hours. Oh geez, Rick, I don't know, 5 maybe. I'm like looking at a Rick and Morty card game.
Yeah, he's not calling me Rick. Everyone, he's like, wait, that's not Rick. So hilarious. So one day, and after that, you told us.
I broke it off with the other girl because I wanted to be like, I didn't want to be disingenuous with my intentions and like, hey, maybe you're fooling around with some girl in Canada, but also falling in love with some girl in Bellingham. Not a good look. Try not to be that guy. So I break it off, and I actually did hear from her again, like months and months and months later. I guess she'd stalked me on Facebook where we weren't friends, and she was like, "Hey, you did marry the girl. Good job."
Oh wow, she's understanding.
She was really cool. Yeah.
Wow.
I like to think that all the women I dated were really cool.
Oh, you hope so.
Just like a little crazy.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little crazy in there.
Crazy's fun.
Yeah.
So we drive around, and then I was supposed to hang out with someone else. I was going to tour a cannabis company that was doing CO2 extractions in Seattle. And the person I was supposed to hang out with just like straight no call, no showed me. So I texted Alex and I was like, hey, you want to go do this thing with me? And she's only 20. And my homie was the one checking the IDs at the door. And I was like, yo, Cole, like, can you let this like maybe illegal person in? So we go down there and we hung out, and she spent the night that night, and we've pretty much been hanging out ever since. Like,
damn,
that was like the one night in between meeting and like getting together that we ever really spent apart, except for one time I went on a vacation without her.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So take me back to the games.
Back to the game. So first time hanging out, past the first time hanging out, like we did the drive around and smoke weed and listen to music thing, and that went super well. The next time we hung out, she just bought an Xbox One with her tax return.
Nice.
And I was one of those guys that
first of all, pause. Gamer girls are the best. Any girls that game, like, for guys, that's like a home run and a win. If you're a dude who likes to game, I game a lot. I like to play. When I have dated girls who game, I fucking love it.
Oh, so
girls
good.
who aren't into video games who think, oh, that's a waste of time or that's silly, I can't date them because they're going to be nagging me or exhausting me, and I'm going to feel weird about playing.
It's hard to see. It's like hard to be with someone who like looks down on one of your hobbies.
One of the best hobbies you can have.
Everything in moderation, but like, God, some days you just pour 12 hours into a game and don't worry about anything. It's so nice.
Oh my God.
Try not to do that often.
I mean, I'm so busy working. When I do get an actual Saturday or any time where I can put in some hours into a game, it's like heaven. It's like Jesus. Because I play, like, right now my main game I'm addicted to is Apex Legends. I can't stop playing.
Lit.
And it's like, you know, I'm so busy. Sometimes I only get an hour a day. Sometimes I don't get to play every day. But sometimes I'll hit a stretch where, for whatever reason, I got some time and I can put in 3, 4, 5 hours. I love it, dude. And the matches go so quick.
Dude, this pandemic has been wonderful for my gaming. Like, like years went by where I didn't play any games.
What's your games right now you're playing?
A lot of Magic.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot. Like my
I play
friends.
Hearthstone a lot.
Yeah. Same kind of thing. My friends got me hooked on Magic. We play a ton of Magic. I'm like really spoiled that like my 5, 6 best friends are all super COVID conscious.
Yeah.
Like one of them works in healthcare, so we all like make sure that we're all like super.
Yeah.
Like
one of my buddies is who used to go to play Magic tournaments and did play Magic online. I tried playing Magic online a little bit, but I'm so like into Hearthstone and like I was like, oh, I don't want to relearn the whole thing.
It's hard to play 2 games that are almost the same game.
I mean, he's married, has a newborn. I can't get him to leave the house to do anything. We used to watch the UFC fights together and like talk gaming, but he won't leave the house until there's a vaccine. So I'm like, God damn it. But let me ask you, speaking of games, so first of all, like, how old are you?
Just turned 30.
Okay, so I'm 40. So back in my day, I was playing Magic, the actual physical card game.
So that's when we play. That's what I was getting at. Is I'm lucky that my friends are all COVID conscious because we can play paper Magic, and that's like we've been getting so much Magic in, and I'm just lucky that all my friends are like, we're all super quarantined except my wife and I. We live out in Alger, so like we have one neighbor and we've lived there a year and still haven't met her.
I was playing Magic back when you could buy like alpha and beta packs still.
Well, I bet you we still had those.
Oh, dude, it tears me to pieces. Like I started playing when I got introduced to Magic, I was like 13 or 14, freshman in high school. This is in Port Angeles. There used to be, it's not there anymore. There used to be this arcade, comic book, like dart throwing store.
Do you remember what it was called?
Pizza. It was called Cactus Jack's.
Cactus Jack's.
And I'd go down there, and there was an arcade in the back, and then they'd have Magic cards like behind the thing. And back then, I think like an alpha or beta pack was maybe 15 or 25 bucks. That's when I started playing, but you could still buy them. They still had the booster boxes, the booster packs. I started playing Magic the Gathering. What edition? It wasn't Unlimited. One right after that. I forget what it was.
Revised?
Yeah, Revised.
They all had the white borders?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And so I started playing during Revised, and you could still buy Unlimited. You could still buy all the other ones. But I'm a 13, 14-year-old kid. I don't have money. You know, this is back where you got like an allowance of like $10 every couple week or two, right? So it's not like
we're also solid like, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 years ahead of the first sleeve ever being produced.
Yeah.
So you're just playing cards, you're riffle shuffling.
Oh, you're riffle shuffling. You know, eventually we started, sleeving the card. But it's like I played for a couple years there. I only played maybe for solid 1 year, but I had the complete set of Revised, and I had which I sold in high school, which it kills me now. I had the deck I played with, then I had the complete set that I didn't touch, all in a binder in their individual things. And then it kills me now because I was like, I remember like opening up the booster packs and the starter decks, and like looking at it now, I'll occasionally go on eBay and to see what they're going for, and I'm like, fucking kill me.
God, I'm in all the Magic groups online, and like all the time, like you'll see someone will be like, hey, you know, my dad has always told me when I'm ready to buy a house that he'll take care of me, so I have a sealed alpha booster box, and
does he really?
And it'll sell for like, you know what I mean, like 20, 30K right there, and you're just like,
yeah. Well, wow. Even now, because I sell Magic cards in my store currently, and I'm buying them wholesale, I keep telling myself, every expansion that comes out, I should just buy like 2 boxes wholesale for myself, stick them in the closet, forget about them. 20 years from now,
most Magic players do.
Yeah.
Yeah, just anyone that you know that's playing Magic has a closet full of
Yeah,
sealed products.
and I'll just have like a giant thing full of it. Hopefully there'll never be a house fire where they'll all burn down.
Oh no, you
like
insure it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, because 20 years ago, well, 27 years ago when I first started playing Magic, like, I mean, it's just like an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I should
Every
be doing.
every now and again, I buy collections all the time, and right now we're opening a Magic the Gathering shop that was supposed to open March 28th.
Uh-huh.
Thank
you are?
Thank you, COVID.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That screwed up everything.
Where are you opening that at?
Freaking, we got the lease right next door to the bar, which also doesn't exist.
Wow.
So I'm just like paying rent on this giant empty unit that I'm just like
Uh-huh.
buying collection after collection of Magic cards and just like sorting them, and like we'll get it open someday.
Uh-huh.
So life is funny right now.
Move this a little bit closer to you.
Yeah, I goofed it.
There we go. There we go. So, where do we leave off at? Back to the game. So, you're with your wife. You guys are both gamers. Who is like, hey, let's open a bar, gamer? That was your idea, her idea? You guys came together?
Our idea. We were just talking about it because we were like, what do we want to do? Okay, so the original intentions of it, and we called it Best Buds Gaming Lounge because I was supposed to also have. I had 3 avenues to open a recreational store. Like everything, I was supposed to continue doing weed, and all 3 avenues fell through. Shout out to the weed industry for just having the shadiest, worst people ever, at least circa 2016. I don't really know what it's like now. All 3 of my avenues fell through, which was a huge bummer. But we'd already started building the lounge, and we were like, we'll keep this thing. And it was supposed to just be like, it's actually written into our lease that if it's ever legal to have cannabis lounges, that we can be one.
Oh, cool.
We don't want to do that anymore. It'd be terrible.
You're so over it.
I'm so over it. Like we don't have to get into it. Weed smokers are great. People that really make it their personality to smoke weed are maybe not so great, and maybe don't spend as much or tip as hard as when they go out.
Yeah.
In my experience of people that come in, that have clearly just smoked 100 joints, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with smoking 100 joints, and are trying to figure out how to spend exactly $3 on a can of Rainier and sit in your bar for 6
like 7
hours.
hours.
Yeah. There's like a certain kind of person, and they always have weed socks on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe we should like I didn't really know much about craft beer other than like Bellingham had good craft beer. Like I ended up going over to Fairhaven Pizza, who had like, James is great. James just sold Fairhaven Pizza. But like anytime we'd do like a cannabis party in Fairhaven, which is where one of the dispensaries was, James was the kind of guy that would just show up and be like, here's 10 pizzas. Hope your party goes well. So when we decided we wanted to be a bar, I went over to James. I was like, James, can you just like introduce me to everybody? And everybody turned out to be John from Colshan, who I still talk to probably once a week, Aslan, like all these breweries. And the Bellingham craft beer community is so cool.
Oh, okay,
like
nice.
the people that produce the beer, the people that sell the beer, the people that consume the beer, like every part of it is so cool and so wholesome. And there's just like camaraderie at every level. All the breweries like each other. Like it's so different than cannabis was. Like cannabis, like when I first got here, like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I was like, I own half a dispensary. I'm going to go make friends with all the other dispensary owners. And it was just like doors slamming in my face, no one wanting to talk to me.
Get
like,
out of here.
You're the competition. I'm like, we see the same people. So it's, I don't know, the alcohol community is just so much better. And like, there's lots of locally produced spirits and all those guys are cool. Like, everybody's cool. Everybody's so cool in the alcohol industry. And like all the distributors are cool. Like the liquor board, which had been just like this big thorn in my side in cannabis, like,
they love alcohol.
they were the very first people to come to our rescue when COVID shut us down.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
How so?
Let's fast forward. We opened the bar. The bar's going super well. 36 straight months of growth. COVID, immediate drop. Stop everything. No revenue, no bar. We had like a last sad party. It was great.
A last sad party.
Oh God, we thought we were gonna be down for like 3 or 4 months. I was like, everyone wear a mask for 2 weeks, we'll be fine. I can't believe that we're setting such long-term goals that don't include a bar now. But everything had gone just like literally month-over-month growth for 36 straight months.
So talk about the opening, because I'm a huge gamer. I grew up. I owned the very first NES. I was playing Atari back when the NES came out. I bought the very first one. All those games. I used to go down. I mean, I was there for the first Mortal Kombat in the arcade.
We have all of those games.
But I know I've seen it. You guys have all the cool retro shit in there. Did you guys have to go out and buy like a ton of retro consoles? And did you go on eBay? Like, where'd you scrounge up all the retro?
So
shit?
I was like a weird kid. Like I collected weird things. Like I've always I think I started my first eBay account when I was like 11 years old. I would buy bulk things of Skittles and repackage them and sell them. And
To
was
who? Kids at
eBay.
school?
eBay.
Oh, it's on eBay.
Yeah, I was hustling. There's a business called Amscott down south, which they do check cashing and money orders, and their gimmick is money orders are free
Mm-hmm.
because they want you to cash your check there
Yeah.
and pay your bills there.
Yeah.
And me, being the industrious, 11-year-old that I was,
Uh-huh.
would skateboard up to the local paycheck cashing place and tell eBay I was 18, and you know what I mean? Just like I'm like cashing and making money orders and like running a whole eBay shop, just like buying and selling like candy and like beads and stuff. Like you buy bulk, you put it in Ziploc bags, you sell it as smaller quantities. And I'm like, I couldn't believe this worked. Like I believe I may have used like some of my bar mitzvah money as seed money. So I always had the hustle going. I used to collect Nintendo controllers. I mean, I still very much collect Nintendo controllers.
The old NES.
But I used to go to Goodwill. There was a killer Goodwill in St. Pete.
Okay.
And a bunch of killer pawn shops. And like, I used to like go with my dad, and we'd just go to Goodwill, and I would just buy all the controllers. They were always like, you could get whatever controllers you needed for like $1.99.
Yeah.
So I just had this like huge box of N64, GameCube, PlayStation controllers, and I just like, I knew as a kid, I was like, someday these are going to be harder to find than they are now. Like somehow at like 13 years old, I understood like supply, demand, and scarcity. And I just had this huge box that I just collected of like everything.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really have too many games because I like I'm a hyper focused person. Like I'll play the same 10 games 100,000 times and like never get bored. But I had all these peripherals. And when we decided to open the bar, I still had all these peripherals just like chilling in a box.
Nice.
And like if we were to do the same thing again today, God, it'd be impossible. Like the games have spiked so much in value.
Yeah.
Like our game collection has just grown by like
Insane.
tens of thousands of dollars since COVID started, just because like everything is going nuts right now. Like controllers are impossible to find in good condition unless you want to pay like crazy premium prices. Consoles are still pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
And most of them are bulletproof. Like you can throw an N64 at the wall and it will still fire up the next time. But the games are getting expensive. And then like the really, really hard part, if we were to try to open another lounge today, is the TVs.
Yeah.
Every setup is perfect. If you are playing an NES, you are playing on a 1985 Sony Trinitron. Like everything is correct.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's all done to the best it can be done. Everything's RGB modified or running on S-Video. Like everything is running right. Finding that again, even just a couple years later, would be impossible.
Yeah.
One of my CRTs is worth like, I've got a couple of them now that are worth thousands of dollars.
Oh, damn.
And it's wild because they're big bulky TVs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of where I come in at
all
the
the
lounge.
systems that you guys have?
Oh geez, all of it.
Everyone. I used to have a system. It never took off. It was called a 3DO.
Yo, I was about to say there's a few that I don't have called a 3DO.
I used to have that.
They're so rad.
A disc. I had it back in the day. I bought it from JCPenney, I think. And yeah, I had it for a little bit. I remember I had a racing game. I forget even what it was called. But yeah.
One of my buddies recently I've been helping him hook up. He's just got this like insane retro collection. Like his retro console collection is so cool. He's got like the Mountain Dew orange Xbox.
What does your house look like? Do you have like a dope like
oh my God.
every console? And because I've seen pictures of people with the whole retro with like little blue like lights highlighting.
So I don't have that. I'm like most of my games live at the lounge, but like my bedroom, like I've got an FW900, which is just like the cream of the crop CRT.
For people who are listening, explain what that stuff is.
Okay, so
people are
CRT, a cathode ray tube TV. So like the big box TVs. Around 2004, 2005, the LCD came out, and every company just started moving that direction because you didn't have to carry these things that were hundreds of pounds, and you didn't have to ship these things which were hundreds of pounds. So as soon as flat screens came out, like the whole industry took a turn, and like the first like couple generations of flat screens were really just awful. Like they were bad. The resolution was bad. They burn in. Like plasma was cool, but like good plasmas were thousands of dollars.
Expensive,
stupid expensive. But these big box TVs that have been around, for decades and decades and decades, they come very, very, very far with their tech.
Yeah.
To the point where we were able to produce like perfect reproductions of the signal going into them. So for years after the consumer industry switched to LCDs, companies like Sony continued to put out what were called professional video monitors and broadcasting video monitors, which were like somewhere on the other end of Sal producing this, I'm sure he's got a set of reference speakers, which are speakers that have no EQ built into them, and they just produce like, this is what the signal sounds like with nothing added to it. These TVs are the video equivalent of that. They're reference monitors. And for professionals that still, like graphic designers and photo editors, CAD designers, architects, things of that nature, they really needed good screens to continue doing what they were doing. And the LCDs just weren't there at all. So they continued to produce these monitors, and there's just like a sweet spot of monitors that they kept making after the technology had like died, from a consumer standpoint, but had continued going at a commercial standpoint, that like just the quality on them is so insanely high that if you take, this monitor that was originally supposed to be used by like, like $1 million drafter, that is just so cream of the crop, like so far ahead of anything else at the time technologically for producing a video signal, and you put like I've got my Switch on it. It's just like it's so insane how crisp and brilliant it looks, like, and so smooth. And so that kind of tech we collect. So my TV isn't just like, or my house isn't like full of crazy games, but I've got every cool TV. Like we've just got like funny CRTs in all these different places. My landlord will come over, like we just re-signed our lease, and my landlord was like, I don't understand it, but it's cool. Like I don't know why you'd still have a VHS collection, but you do you. So our house is just like a smorgasbord of TVs. And with the lounge closed right now, I'm kind of like taking all the cool ones home.
How sad are you that the lounge closed right now?
It's devastating. Yeah. We put so much work into it, and like our regulars are so cool. Like I truly loved working there so much. And like
And you guys can't even do the thing to just be open till 10? Like
we can, but the governor's last mandate said, it very specifically said no entertainment areas inside bars, including video games.
That's so lame.
Like the word, and like I get it. We were able to like reopen like a tiny little bitty bit in phase 2, and
5 minutes. Yeah.
It was awful.
Oh yeah.
The like our clientele are the kind of clientele that are smart enough to not go to a bar where you touch everything during a pandemic. So like it was just like painfully slow. And then like the people that would come out, like, you just like look at your homie who's walking around, trying to drink his drink, masked down because of his drink, sneezing into his arm, and you're like, maybe we shouldn't be open. Like the amount of wiping down the amount of work that it took to make that room clean, like
all the controllers and everything.
And like we switched everything around. Like we changed it so there were no controllers out in the room. You had to come behind the bar, standing in, standing out. Like,
do you guys have? Let me ask you this: what is it? What was Nintendo's Virtual Boy? You guys
okay,
got those?
So I used to leave a Virtual Boy on the bar top, like just for shits, because it ran on batteries.
Yeah.
I used to just leave one on the bar top, and some people would know what it was, and
they wouldn't.
No, some people would, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, is that a Virtual Boy?" They'd just stick their face in it and go to town. And some people would be like, "Do you guys have VR?" And I'd be like, "Right here." It was fun. Oh, my homie Justin. So I was building his. We're still building it. We're now 3 sessions in, building his epic retro gaming collection. This guy's got everything. Like you could definitely tell that this guy like really wants his high end stuff. And kind of the coolest thing in his collection is a 3DO.
Oh, that's so tight.
And he was showing me the other day.
How many games does he have for it?
How many? I don't know. A fucking ton.
Dude.
So he's got the room that you're talking about that has the floor to ceiling shelves with all the games and the lights. Like he's that guy. Give me the best TV. I'm gonna drop my Switch in the dock. Borderlands Game of the Year. Such a good game. Can't believe I never played it. And he was showing me his 3DO, and he showed me something neat on it. When you open it, the whole drive comes out. Like usually when you open a disc drive, you just get a little tray.
Yeah.
But the whole drive came out, and I was like, that is terrifying.
I barely remember
someday
what
that's
it looks
gonna
like.
break, and you're never gonna replace it.
God, that's classic. He has that thing. That's so.
Oh my god, he has so much cool stuff. He's got like both of the home Neo Geos. He's got like the Panasonic Q, which was like this GameCube that Nintendo licensed in Japan.
I forgot about that.
It's a Panasonic that could play DVDs.
Yeah.
And he's got like all the crazy good RGB cords. Like, dude knows this shit.
Were you? I know I'm only like 10 years older than you, but back when you were growing up, were arcades still a thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just remember, dude.
Oh my god, dude. So the glory days of my life was 13 years old when we all did bar mitzvah parties, because there were basically only 2 bar mitzvah parties you had.
Yeah.
You either did it at laser tag or you did it at the arcade. And like it got to the point where like we were gonna be Gauntlet Legends. Like we never did.
The arcade was the place you could go hang out after school. You get your tokens. And as a 13, 14-year-old back in the day, like $5 in tokens, you were like loaded, because if you
were good. If
you got $5 in tokens, you got an extra $1. They'd give you like 6. And this is back in the day when like I remember when Mortal Kombat came out, because it was so graphic. I remember I was in 8th grade actually, I remember going over to my friend's house, and it was on the news. They were talking about Mortal Kombat, and like politicians were getting involved to talk about like banning this game or doing something with it because it was so violent. I mean, people who don't know, and I guess there is people out there who don't know. Mortal Kombat was the first like, I guess, gory game where you can decapitate people.
It's like the first game to show blood on the
Yeah,
screen.
blood, and it's like there's finishing moves, so it's a fighting game, and at the end you get to finish you could do what's called a fatality, where you can make someone's head explode, set them on fire, rip their head out with their spine attached to it. Like, it's just super graphic. And so, but I just remember going down the arcade. There was Killer Instinct, there was Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition, there was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Simpsons.
You're just like listing off my list of games
God.
that I leave out at the lounge at all times because I know the people that will come in will play them.
Oh, Terminator 2.
All the
Dude.
good stuff.
Oh my god. And it was like, what were some of the, God, I'm trying to think of some of the other classic games, but like, oh my god. But as a kid, man, you go into this dark room where it's only lit by the screens of like the arcade machines. And back then, like, the graphics on these machines were way better than you can get in consoles. So people would go to the arcade because the graphics were so much better. It was just a better picture, better sound. You're with your friends.
That is going back to video signals, which is why we collect these ridiculous TVs.
Uh-huh.
So if you remember hooking up those TVs, you had the red, the white, and the
blue,
yellow.
Or yellow, yeah.
And the yellow carried your entire video signal.
Yep.
And looking back, that's like
insane.
Like a horrible way of doing it. In Europe, they had a cable called SCART, which was it carried all your video signals. So a video signal, an analog signal, is usually made of a red, a green, a blue, and a sync. And you put this into your monitor, and your monitor has an input for the red, the green, the blue, the sync. And sometimes there's a second sync for syncing the horizontal and the vertical, depending on how fancy your shit is. And the arcade monitors were all RGB. So that's why the arcades were so cool, is because you had these monitors that would be playing 3-4 signals at one time and syncing them up, and just like the amount of just like sharpness and vibrance you could get out of those colors was wild.
Yeah.
Fun fact, you got screwed by growing up in North America because the cable, it's called a SCART, that was like the standard in Europe, and like European CRTs have just a SCART socket. It was like a 20, or I forget how many pins it is. It might be 16. It's either 16 or 21 pins in the back of it. And there's a pin for red, green, blue, sync, audio. It's basically HDMI, but for analog. And like you could get arcade quality at home on certain consoles in Europe. Like,
oh my God.
Like just plug it in your TV. And then like we're here in North America and we just got screwed. Like the coolest thing that we had at the time was S-Video, and like no one did that.
Right.
So that's why we collected these monitors though. And like those old school arcade monitors, like, nobody makes them.
Yeah.
If someone made CRTs right now, they would make a fortune. Like this year, vinyl outsold CDs, and I know if someone was selling CRTs.
Wait, no way.
Yeah, vinyl outsold CDs this year.
What?
Yeah, I mean, people like shit that looks good and sounds good.
I mean, I have a record player. I got a handful of records, but I had no idea. Like,
when was the last time you bought a CD?
Couldn't even tell you.
When was the last time you bought a record?
I mean, yeah, probably about a year or two ago.
Well, there you go. Times the population.
I can't even remember. I'm trying to think, dude. The last CD I bought, I couldn't even tell you.
God, my car. At some point, I updated. I drive a 2005 Subaru now, and I love it. It's so much fun. It's a little wagon on the outside, WRX on the inside.
I don't want to forget this thought, because if I don't say it now, I'm gonna lose it. A game I grew up playing, which I absolutely fucking loved, and sometimes I'll occasionally Google to see, are they ever gonna fucking make this game again for the next generation consoles, was Twisted Metal. I fucking love that goddamn game.
Fuck, dude, Twisted Metal's so good. That was like one of the first games that I remember my mom not letting me play.
Oh really? I fucking
we used to go over to this kid Mitch's house, and shout out to Mitch wherever the fuck you ended up. And we would go into his room and we'd turn all the lights off, and he had a PS2, which was just like, none of us had PS2s, and he had a PS2, and he had Twisted Metal Black. And if you remember that game, when you turn it on, it starts playing Paint It Black.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, it was so good.
Dude, and I keep going, like, why have they not brought that back to, like, that game would kill nowadays.
God, can you imagine a VR one?
Oh, dude, get out of here, man. But the online element, because, like, online, like, you know, Call of Duty, I play Apex, there's all, you know, Fortnite's a thing, but like these online games, dude, that game would murder, I think.
I feel like they made one recently. Like, I know there was one on PS3.
God, it's so, I want like the new, dude, bring that out for the PS5 coming out.
That'd be lit. Did you see that Microsoft just bought Bethesda?
Oh, did they really?
They really did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. I
What
did
a-
see your little receipt you printed though on your IG. I think it was where you
Oh my
pre-ordered
God, that
the
was
PS5.
I was just like right place, right time. I'm in a Discord of all people that own video game businesses, and I got a ping, and like you don't ping unless you mean it. And I got a ping on my phone, and it said, "Hey everyone, get to your GameStop right now. They just opened pre-orders." And this was like on my wife's birthday, and we were at the mall, and she was just like
Nice.
buying wife stuff, and we actually had left the mall. We got in the car to leave, and we were like right there by like I think the Red Robin, and I get this ping, and I looked at her, and I was like, "Hey, do you mind going back?" She's like, "What for?" I was like, "Out of nowhere, you can pre-order the PS5." And I walked in, and like we have like a really good relationship with the GameStops in town. We have a good relationship with all the nerd businesses. Everyone in the nerd industry is cool.
So wait, the GameStop in the mall. God, I used to know him by name too because he used to go in there all the time. I forget the manager's name. I used to know by name. I forget. I was gonna give him a shout out, but go ahead.
Was it
continue.
Gavin?
I know Gavin. No, I forget. It's a guy. He's like skinny dude.
I know who you're talking
brown
about.
hair.
6 months ago, I would have remembered his name because that used to
I
come
used to
into the
remember
bar.
his name too. Oh, it's killing me now. But anyways, not important.
So I run back in, and Gavin, who's our buddy, and like all the GameStop homies, like they come into the lounge. Like once upon a time when there were bars and a nightlife, people would come in, and like the GameStop group was always a good group, and like their homies, they'd come in, they'd be like, "Here's a bunch of pre-order bonuses that people never came and picked up. Feel free to give these to your regulars."
Sweet.
Yeah, no, they're super good to us, and we're good to them too. You know. We spend as much money as we can at as many different shops as we can. You know, we shop at Cosmic and Paradise and Reset and everywhere, including GameStop, because like the GameStop guys come in and spend money. So it's like, yes, obviously shop local when you can, but like, is it also shopping local when you're employing people?
Yeah,
I feel it is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I walk in, and Gavin, who's just like a homie, and like this is the kind of guy who will come in and be like, "Hey man, if it's not too busy, can I get like a top shelf Long Island?" And like, which is just like a super fun cocktail to make, because you're like, cool, I just put like 5 badass boozes in this. So like super great guy. And I walk in, and he just like jumps over the counter and like points at this sign that's like still warm from the printer that says pre-order your PS5. And he was stoked, and I was stoked, and
excuse me.
This was supposed to be like the year for the lounge. Like, oh my God, we were going to get the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, like all at the same time. We're going to be like a place to come play it. And like, damn you, COVID.
God.
If you're at home right now, wear your goddamn
it's really
mask.
sad because has they even talked about when like phase 3 is even happening? Like they used to talk about the phases all the time. Then all of a sudden, like,
oh, we're going backwards. If we were to apply for phase 2 today, we wouldn't even get it. And it's worse too, because like, you know, certain demographics, which I don't want to alienate, are definitely throwing lots of parties right now where no one's wearing masks, and they shouldn't be throwing those. And can you please stop? Some of us would like to go back to normal. You can have all the parties you want soon. I'll even come and cater them for you.
Oh my God. Well, it's just like, I'm not about to do it. I've done it before on this podcast multiple times, going on my COVID rant. So I'm going to spare the listeners.
Oh my God, I'll go on the rant. Wear your goddamn masks. Stand 6 feet apart from each other. This is ridiculous. People don't need to die. This is entirely preventable.
Well, it's just like,
wash your hands.
I mean, I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's just like, I've talked about it before on the podcast. Like, what are the boxes we're trying to check? Because, you know, it's currently circulating everywhere, and it's like, Americans just don't follow rules. You're not going to put the cat back in the bag and get anyone to like quarantine more than they already have at this point. So it's just like, if a vaccine is the saving grace, the problem is like the vaccine, they can't make it mandatory because that's illegal. Fauci said it could only possibly be 70% effective. And so you're going to have a vaccine where maybe some people will be vaccinated, some people won't. And some people who are vaccinated, it won't be 100% effective anyway. So are we then going to be like, tear off the masks, everything back open, let's do this? Because some people won't be vaccinated. It won't be effective some of the time, the vaccine anyway. So it's just like,
I'm picturing this like
I'm trying to imagine the end goal that we're working towards, where things open up again, you know?
Best case scenario is, and this is thinking as like someone who owns a business where people gather, because this is obviously a conversation that we have all the time. Very similar to this, is like, what's it gonna look like? And I'm like, dude, I'm like picturing this like dystopian future where like you come to the bar and I'm like, let me see your papers. Like if you're not vaccinated, you have to go somewhere else. Like,
right.
like wearing a mask is just like the most simple, basic form of empathy that you can do. Like, yes, wearing one sucks, and I don't like it, and nobody likes it, but you should still do it, because like, so after we closed as a bar, the saving grace that we had was the liquor board said, hey, as long as you deliver food in any form, you can also deliver sealed alcohol. And we jumped on that immediately. Like they announced it on like Wednesday and we were like fully up and running by Friday kind of thing. Like we closed, we turned the whole bar into a liquor store and we started doing like delivery alcohol. And we had something we called the compliance special, which is where for $1 you could purchase one macaroni and cheese bite, which made it legal for us to deliver you alcohol.
That's tight.
And oh my God, it was so tight. This was all during
And
phase
did you have to
one.
hire like a bunch of drivers? How did you manage?
Oh my God, no! I bought a little piece of crap Prius, and oh my God, no! It was so scary.
So it was like you and your wife doing
It was
all
just
the
me and my.
deliveries?
We did everything.
Oh my
She
God,
would.
were you guys going insane?
It was insane. We'd have so many orders. Phase one was nuts. Like, and it was wild too,
And who was
because like
preparing the orders?
my wife.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she was doing all the prep. I was doing all the delivery, and it's alcohol. So like, who cares if it gets there in a little bit? It's not like it's gonna get cold.
Yeah.
We couldn't do cocktails or anything. And we were just delivering bottles, this crazy amount of bottles, and like so many orders a day. I was like, oh my God, we're making more money than we made as a bar. But like this was just during phase one when no one was leaving the house, so like it made sense.
Yeah.
But I was going to the store because it turned somber. I have delivered lots of sorry for your lost bottles because you don't see it, but it's the old people that die.
Yeah.
And you know, you'll get 7-8 orders where you're sending a bottle of Jameson to some guy's house and you finally ask him, hey, is it his birthday? What's going on? Like, I've been to this guy's house twice and it's like, oh, he just lost his mom to COVID. And it's like, hey, you don't see it, but it's happening and it's old people and it's sad because like it's preventable. Like it sucks. So, and like it's like a shot to the gut when like you're all like, oh cool, I'm delivering this guy booze all day, and you're like, oh, it's because he lost his mom because someone probably sneezed on something at some point and someone didn't wash their hands. It's like, it's like the saddest thing because it's like,
well, you're making good points because I was even saying to my workers like recently, I was confused because like everywhere I go, man, I live alone and I'm not going to parties or anything. So everybody, I was telling them like everywhere I go, I see people wearing masks everywhere. I'm like, I don't see people not complying. It's like I think we're doing pretty good and walk. I'm like, I can't even tell you the last time.
Oh,
I went
buddy, you should go to the Alger Shell.
The what?
The Alger Shell.
What is that?
It's the Shell station off of Exit 240. It's the closest thing to my house where you can purchase anything. Oh my God!
Is that Exit 240?
It is Exit 240. Shout out! Don't go to the Alger Shell off Exit 240.
Don't go to Exit 240.
Oh my God!
Well,
no.
What's going on there?
Oh no! It's just like there's almost if you go in at any time during the day, you're almost guaranteed that at least 2 or 3 people just don't have a mask on.
Oh really?
And it's just like it's like jarring to see at this point because like I mean like Bellingham is totally this bubble, and it's a good bubble where the people here are polite and kind and intelligent and like mask up for the most part. Like we live so dead center. Like if I need to run to Hagen, it's like 11 minutes to the Fairhaven Hagen or 11 minutes to the Burlington Hagen. Like
from where you live?
From where I live. And sometimes it's like I don't want to run into someone who wants to talk to me while I'm stoned in my pajamas trying to buy bread. So we'll run south where I'm a little more incognito. And there's definitely like a drastic difference in
once you get outside of like Bellingham.
Once you get outside of like Bellingham,
I could see that.
And Bellingham and like the surrounding areas are cool. Like I'll go run errands in like Ferndale or Linden, and like I'm surprised by how many people are wearing masks, and like pleasantly surprised. And then I go to the goddamn Alger Shell, where there's like a guy in front of me who's like 600 years old, not wearing a mask, like yelling at the clerk. Who's not even trying to get them to wear a mask. And I'm just like, dude, it's you who dies. Like,
you're the one.
Like, I'm wearing this for you. Like, I don't benefit from this.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's crazy, man.
It's so, it's just like the simplest thing you can do.
I feel bad for you guys because you guys do have a sweet place. It's really cool. And how long have you guys been open as the 1Up Lounge?
So we soft opened in July of 2016 and then grand opened in September. So next week, I don't know when this airs.
This will be out. What's today? Tuesday? This will be out Thursday.
Okay, so a couple days from now will be the 3-year anniversary of our grand opening, which is always just like this banging party. Like last year, it was just like shoulder to shoulder. Like it's one of the nights every year where we have to hire a bouncer because we're gonna hit capacity and like 2 in, 2 out. Like last year, we did like a crazy Mario Kart tournament, and like we always do a cosplay contest, and like. It's one of those things where like we make so much money that night that we can just like plan on making a cool purchase. Like last year we made so much money that we were able to like upgrade a bunch of TVs to OLEDs. Yeah. Like, and then this year it's just like I'll make a Facebook post and we'll be sad about it. We'll be bummed. Like maybe I'll order like or I'll organize like a Jackbox night or something.
But this speaks to you guys being entrepreneurial. Is like you guys we started doing the delivery of alcohol, and you guys are doing the
Oh my God,
barbecue
we're on
now.
we're on like our 5th pivot now.
Mm-hmm.
Like first we did the bottles, and then we turned just bottles into cocktail kits. They were so cute.
Uh-huh.
We would get like little airplane bottles, like the little gins, and
Uh-huh.
like we'd make little bottles of juices. And
Uh-huh.
like my wife, she would like make these cute little kits
Mm-hmm.
with like little notes that said combine all the ingredients that say 1
Uh-huh.
over ice, combine all the
Oh,
2s.
nice. Uh-huh.
Like if you have access to a shaker, shake it. If you don't, just stir it as best as you can. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was so we'd like send people with cups of ice, like just mix all these
Yeah.
things. Like it was so cute. Like I'm so sad that we didn't take better pictures because like they were adorable. Like the presentation on them.
Yeah.
And then we started to be able to do cocktails to go, and that was cool. And then we made a deal with the city of Bellingham to upgrade our occupancy to a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
which allowed us to start preparing food. So we put together this like better than we had, but still not super awesome menu with like meatball subs and stuff. And then we reopened.
And it's like, is it still just the two of you doing all this?
No. We've gotten to bring back. We have 4 staff members now.
Oh, cool.
There's a couple that like there's not enough to bring everybody back,
Yeah.
and it sucks, but it'd be like that.
Yeah.
But oh my God, we're so spoiled. Like
Mm-hmm.
like I've been an entrepreneur for so many years, and this is the first time in my entrepreneurial career where 100% of my staff is 100% competent, and it's just like it's the wildest
goldmine.
feeling.
Yeah.
I can give someone a job and then not worry about it because it's gonna get done. Like
Yeah.
I've never had that before, and like I'm so grateful for my employees. So then we started doing the barbecue thing, and I'm gonna make a little announcement here.
Okay, let's do it.
So I'm gonna segue into it.
Segue.
So the barbecue thing, I'm from the South originally,
Okay.
and like one thing we would do when we didn't know what to do is if you got 5 people together and you split a rental car and gas, it was like $30-40 a person,
Uh-huh.
and you would just shoot over to Texas and get barbecue, or
Mhm.
shoot over to North Carolina and get barbecue. Like this is the thing that we would do,
Uh-huh.
because why wouldn't you do it? Or shoot up to Alabama and get barbecue.
Uh-huh.
So that's just like a thing that we've always done. Like when I first moved to Bellingham, the first thing I did was try to seek out good barbecue. And I was like, what?
Uh-huh.
There's just none here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to find sweet tea, and I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
Nothing.
My whole life
Mhm.
growing up, what can I get you to drink? Water and a sweet tea, please. Like,
Uh-huh.
like ingrained in my brain. And then I get out here and like I was gonna lose my mind at the next person that said I can give you unsweetened tea and sugar, and it's like it's just settle at the bottom. It's not gonna be good. I know this. You don't know this. It's fine. So you know, I believe there to be a criminal lack of barbecue in the Pacific Northwest. There's a couple of places around town that do a good job, but like real authentic, like I would drive for barbecue. So I knew this is what we wanted to do. It started as just like a funny little idea, and then we rolled with it, and it exploded.
Mhm.
Like I cannot believe how successful it has been. People love barbecue.
Mhm.
People love our barbecue. Like I've never cooked and had it available to the public before.
Yeah.
So this is all like the reception has just been so amazing, and we have just been exploding since day one. We sell out more days than we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've got my little list. Also, feel free to email and get on this list. I've got like my little list of people that I know that are like broke because of pandemic life, and we're only doing barbecue because of pandemic life. And like I know that these are people that would be coming to the bar or like just need help, that are like, this is the worst time financially for someone, and also the only time we're going to be doing this, so it doesn't sync up that you get to try barbecue. At the end of the day, we don't throw anything away. I have like a list of people, if we have some left over, like, are you hungry and broke? Because I will totally come bring you food and not ask for anything in return.
Dude, that's awesome.
So if you want to be on that list, like, please feel free to
Do
find
you want
our
to shout out the email, or do you want to?
1uplounge.wa@gmail.com. Just like shoot that to me, and don't ever take advantage of me, and we'll all be good.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome to do
that's like a thing we do too. Like I just have like my little list of people that I just like, hey man, you guys want dinner?
Yeah.
Like regulars that I like teachers.
Yeah.
I know like substitute teachers just like don't have jobs right now. If you know a substitute teacher and you are teaching at home, like please give them money to come help your kid and tutor and stuff, because like it's like a little occupation that's kind of screwed right now.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So our barbecue thing has gone so well that we need a little bit of a breather to catch up, and to install some much needed infrastructure, and to winterize this much needed structure. We also got the Wacom Restart grant from the city of Bellingham, which just like, I can't even put into words how grateful we are. Like just like this cool, awesome lifeline from the city where they were like, tell us what your business has had to undergo as a change due to COVID. And I'm like, oh, buddy, prime candidate right here. We've gone from nerd bar to barbecue spot. Actually, we had gone from nerd bar to delivery alcohol spot when we applied. By the time we got approved, we changed again. And it's funny, too, because the gal that I've been talking to from the city, I like called her like, hey, can I like dedicate a parking spot or two to go? And I didn't realize that she had been the gal that had basically like reviewed and accepted our application. So I'd already like built up this good rapport with her.
Oh, sweet.
And then I called her one day to ask about something else. I was like, dude, you're the coolest. Like what a huge lifeline to businesses that Bellingham is doing with the Wacom Restart Grant. Like, and I imagine that a lot of businesses around town that are building their patios, like that's where that money's coming from. So thank you, City of Bellingham. We're going to close for a couple weeks and just like catch up a little bit. Like there's some infrastructure changes that we're like desperately need to make. I call it brisket prison. Every night, 9 p.m. brisket prison. You are trimming brisket. Like it's fun, but holy shit, this wasn't my life 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So we just need to put some things into place and winterize it.
And what's going to be the close dates?
Immediately.
Immediately. Oh.
Immediately until we're done. I sneakily turned off pre-orders yesterday. So if you're one of those people that's been like, why won't their website work? It's because I turned it off because I need to sleep. I need to not trim brisket for a couple days. We just need to upgrade a couple of things. Like our infrastructure is still set up to be like, you know, a primary function as a cocktail bar, and just like that's not our primary function anymore. And there's no way to implement the changes that we need to implement and stay open at the same time. So we're just gonna like we're just gonna call it for a couple weeks and just like catch up. Like we got this super big, super awesome grant from the city that's gonna help us out. You know, we're still going to pay our employees to come in and help. And, you know, we've got a couple of choices ahead of us. We're still, it depends on what a couple different contractors say as to which direction we go. Well, we kind of have two options in front of us. Option A, and I love option A and B equally, so I don't really care which one ends up happening. Option A is the city basically said, hey, as long as you can get the neighbors and landlord to sign off on it, like do whatever you want with the parking spots up top. We'll give you, it's a 12-month permit. So that's like nice. Really, really cool that the city's doing that. Like the city is being so helpful. Like this, there's only so much the city can do within their scope of authority to help businesses. And like, I really feel at this moment that they're doing just about as much as they can. So what I want to do is I want to just build like this huge, epic patio that's like 5 parking spots big that just like, you know, tight. Adirondack chairs, build it like a deck, like put, you know, and we still have to check out with the fire department and see what they say about it. Like, I don't want to use propane. I want to use like wood stoves. Like, nice. I have such a cool vision for building this cool patio. Or maybe just moving the whole entire barbecue operation into the empty card shop next door, and then moving the card shop operation into what is right now the lounge spot, because the lounge is not going to exist for the next year probably. Like, wear a mask, please. We miss our bar. So move the card shop into there because it's like nerd bar into nerd business, like very cohesive, like fluid transition, wouldn't be that hard. And then turn the barbecue spot, because like the spot next door just has this like crazy epic covered patio, which would not require me to build a gigantic patio.
Nice.
So we're exploring options. I'm gonna hang out with my wife because I miss her. I feel like we've just been like running around working crazy for the last like I'm so stoked that the barbecue thing took off. Like the reviews that people have left us have brought like tears to my eye. To the 2 people that said it was dry and salty, like, please just email me, I'll replace your food. Like, why would you leave someone a 1-star review during a pandemic? Maybe you're a little bit of a dick. Like, obviously we've been doing this for a month and we're not trying to fucking sell you shitty food. Like, sorry that you got dry brisket. I promise you I put 14 hours into it. It wasn't shitty. Like, when I do delivery, like, I knock and drop. Like, as long as you don't have alcohol in the order, I can just leave it on your porch. And then
slide that back to your face.
Cool. I'll knock. I'll stand 6 feet away. I'll leave your food right on your porch. I'll step back. I'll like start walking backwards to my car. I'll see that you opened it. I'll say thank you. I used to wear gloves every day, but holy shit, have gloves gone up in price?
Oh my god, dude! I went to Home Depot just recently. I was there because I wanted to buy some N95s for all my workers. I walk in there because this was during the smoke that we had where you couldn't fucking breathe. Because everyone's walking around with their masks normally, but I know those will filter some of the shit a little bit.
It's not doing shit for the smoke, though.
Yeah. And so, but I wanted to get them some masks, and I was like, excuse me, Home Depot. I was like, guys have any N95s? And they're like, we haven't had any since April. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I was like, yep, that's not happening.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, dude, I used to be able to go to the restaurant supply, and it was $36 for a case of 1,000 gloves,
Uh-huh.
and that same case is now $130.
Oh, it's stupid.
And you're
dude.
like, oh my god. So we reserve gloves for
I keep thinking about the last couple of days. I've been thinking about how hilarious the whole toilet paper hoarders were in the
oh my
beginning.
god.
Dude, I was laughing so fucking hard. I was like I'm just like, who the fuck are these people? I'm like, you can't be my friend if you're one of those people. I'm just like,
Right? Like to me, toilet paper hoarding is: did your house buy
Mhm.
a whole thing of Costco thing? Like did you buy more than one thing
Yeah.
of Costco paper towels? That's what, 24 rolls.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I just think it's hilarious when the apocalypse is upon us. People's first thought is, I need to wipe my ass and have that be clean. Toilet paper, like that's what people are going. I work in the Philippines, and I was talking. I've been communicating. I also know people in China, the companies that I work with that help me over there, and so I talk to see like what are the things in countries, what are they, and one of them asked me, they're like, "What's up with the toilet paper thing over there?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. People are wild.
I was like, "What is like over there?" He says, "No, most people are just buying up like wipes and Clorox stuff and like." But yeah, they were confused by it too, and I was like, oh my god, I was confused by it too. I was like, I don't know, like I honestly don't know, like what is going on.
I can't understand that mentality.
I'm just like, there's so many different ways to clean your butt besides using toilet paper, like, and if the world really is ending, like, that's what you're concerned about, like, I don't even know, dude.
Dude, I was at the Fairhaven Hagen one day, and the line was just like so crazy long. Like I'm over by the freezer section to get in line, and this guy just starts screaming at the poor girl working, and like this has been my Hagen for like 5-6 years now. So I know all the people that work there as much as you can know someone in a retail establishment that you regular at. But I know him enough to know that I don't want to see him get screamed at. And like I'm in this line, and there's just like dozens of people just like watching this person get screamed at, and I'm like, how do y'all just watch this?
Right.
And I walk over and I stand directly between the two people. Like he's just like he's screaming so much his vein is
What is he
going
yelling at her about?
The cost of toilet paper is so high. I'm like, dude, fucking it's yeah, you guys have bogged down the supply chain. Obviously prices are going to go up to reflect that.
Yeah. Right.
Like moving toilet paper that's a lot of space in a truck.
Yeah.
Like those trucks only can hold so much.
Right.
Like so this guy's just like screaming at this poor girl, and I was like standing between the two of them, and I like asked her, I'm like, can you help me find something anywhere else in the store, please? And just like pour out of this interaction, and I'm just like, man, don't be rude. Don't be rude to the person trying to help you.
It's even more embarrassing when someone that old is behaving in that way, because you've had decades
That's funny. I didn't even say that they were old, but you knew.
Yeah. Well, you had decades of life experience to just learn some coping skills and some communication skills. Also, you probably lived through other hard shit. Like, why is this triggering you so insanely right now? I'm just like, dude, I'm not like that now, but as an old man, when I become older, I'm just going to be like, dude, I've lived through some shit. I'm chill. We're going through some shit right now. Whatever, dude. Like, also, I'm old as fuck. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like,
dude, getting old is funnier. Like, I didn't really feel old until like a year or two ago.
You're 30, right?
30. I'm not even that old. I'm sorry. I'm like all my friends are in their like early mid 20s. Like my wife's 25. Like I hang out with my siblings. They're all younger than me, but one of them, and it's just like, when I was your age, like every time I say when I was your age, I feel like I grow a gray hair.
I hate talking like that now, but it's the truth. It's my truth. I'm 40. I'll be 41 in February. And when I talk about like back in my because even the last podcast I was talking about a car accident I got in, like pre cell phones. Like I was around during no internet. I was around during dial up, and it's just like when you've been around during these transitions, you always have to say, "Yeah, back then," or when you start to talk like an old person, you're like, "Fuck."
You're like, "Fuck, it's me. I'm the old person now. How did this even happen?"
I know, and you forget that you're old. It takes a while to learn that you're old because you never really feel old. You always feel like you're 18, 19, 20. You never feel like an old person. Like, what does a 40-year-old supposed to feel like? I still like to play video games. I still like to hang out with my friends. I still like to drink. I still like to just go on cool adventures. I like to that's the shit you do. That's fun.
But then you walk up a staircase and you're like, wow, my knees popped on all 12 of those stairs.
The knees might hurt. The knees hurt a little bit more. But other than that, it's like you never realize you're the old person until you are the old person all of a sudden. It's weird.
God, I like cleared my schedule for today just because like I knew that we were going to make this announcement. And I knew the announcement's probably going to happen when you're seeing this yesterday, because I have to announce it, because I have to say why we're not open today. Today being tomorrow, but yesterday by the time you see this. But I knew that I wanted to clear my schedule because there's like a lot of back-end social media work that's going to have to go into that.
Yeah.
And dude, I slept so long by accident. I didn't even mean to go to bed last night. I just like passed out
Uh-huh.
because I didn't have to do brisket, which was so nice.
How long does it
And-
take you when you gotta like do the whole brisket?
Okay, so I just lucked out big time. So my brother is just like chef guy.
Uh-huh.
Like he's rad. He's worked in restaurants since he was younger and just knows his way around everything. And most recently, he moved to Portland for a girl and a sushi restaurant. Didn't work out with the girl. Sushi restaurant closed. So now he's back in Bellingham and he's like crashing with me. And it's like, if you've never seen a sushi chef trim the fat off of a brisket, it's like a work of art.
Oh, really?
So, and my time has gone down considerably. I also finally sucked it up and bought myself like a good set of knives, and like what a difference.
Yeah.
God, I don't know, like hour minimum, 2 to 3 hours on the weekend, just fucking trimming brisket. And you got to go to work to do it. So it's like,
I mean, it's really awesome, and like shout out to you and your wife for being so flexible to survive.
thank you,
and, like,
man.
moving from one thing to the next. It's like almost like you're on like you like seen a movie or a cartoon where you jump on the one platform, but it starts to take on water or one.
Oh
boat, and
yeah,
you
no,
jump to
that's
the
been
next
my whole
boat,
2020.
And then you jump to the next boat and try to find one that won't sink.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of why we want to close and make the infrastructure changes, because it's like for the first time since we closed our bar, I really feel like this is a thing that I'll get to keep doing for a long time. And like ideally, with how much this has caught on, we're hoping that somehow this segues into a permanent business. We'll see. For now, it's just a pop up.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
Oh my God, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun being the barbecue guy. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome though. You guys are so hardworking. I mean, I really like. Obviously, I'm a business owner myself. Have been for a long time. I know how crazy and hard it is. People never realize how hard it is. Like, first of all, the money involved, managing employees, workers. It's like all the behind. You guys don't see the behind the scenes effort that it just takes. I mean, like for today's example, I've been up since 6:30, working nonstop. Had barely ate today. I had like a couple sushi rolls like 6-7 hours ago. And it's like, we're shooting this podcast. I'm going to go home, quickly shove some food in my face because I'm hungry, start editing it. Each podcast I do takes a minimum of 10 hours of editing.
Oh, absolutely.
So I got to do that. But then I also just have normal, tomorrow I got like a meeting at 10. And it's like all the other aspects of a business.
Oh God, tomorrow I'm meeting with like multiple contractors. Like,
good luck with that shit, man.
Oh God,
Jesus.
Fucking contractors so hard. Like,
shout out to contractors, by the way. The one I really enjoyed, who I thought was great, was Brom Construction. If you guys ever need work done, Dale over at Brom Construction, great dude. Here's the thing with contractors. Gary's Plumbing also, shout out to them. They're phenomenal to work with.
Big double shout out to Gary's Plumbing.
Yeah,
yeah,
phenomenal. But yeah, Dale's great. Contractors, if you find a good one, is a fucking gold mine. Because I've worked with some who, I'll be here this day, this time. Don't show, don't call, don't say nothing. Right? And you're
oh my God, the no call, no show. And you're like,
yeah.
What? The next contractor can't start till you finish. What do you mean you can't show up?
You just took the words out of my mouth. I'm like, hey, the security company is coming to install this, and they need an outlet here, so I need you to come in on this day. And I even tell them this, and they don't show, don't call. I'm like, dude, they're coming tomorrow at 11.
Oh, the electrician can't work till the plumber's done.
And
the plumber
like...
can't work till the general's done. The general didn't come in because the electrician's not done. And you're just like, I'm paying all of you.
And for people who are listening, contractors are usually booked for weeks in advance. It's not like I can just
call
up
months in advance for the good ones.
Hey guys, we're ready. Can you come here like in 2 hours? No. Like the next availability is 2 weeks down the line.
Oh yeah, you'll be like, hey, I just got a new oven. Can you come swap my 120 to a 240? And they'll be like, yeah, totally. Does 5 weeks work for you? And you're like, this is gonna take you 10 minutes. Yes, but it's gonna take me 10 minutes in 5 weeks. Yeah.
I had such a bad time with my electrician.
Have you tried Skagit contractors?
Never heard of them.
No, I just mean like any contractor in Skagit County.
Oh, so I'm down there.
Yeah.
Have not known.
They're happy to come north. Their schedules aren't so full, and they charge less money for the same job.
Dude, I had such a hard time with my electrician.
Shout out to About Plumbing in Cedar Woolley.
Shout out to them.
Brandon is the shit.
Shout out to Brandon.
Brandon's a homie.
I had such a hard time with my electrician.
Who'd you use? And you can edit it out if you don't want to talk shit.
I'll tell you, I'm going to edit out. Yeah. That will be edited out.
Yeah, no. What's the other one that we hired that really fucking boned us? I can't remember the name. A bunch of Russian guys.
Oh, really?
We had them hired. They were ready to go. This was way back during build out. Like we'd hired them like 4 months in advance or something stupid. And then like our 4 months was up. And then they told us like no call, no show day of. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Hey, we got hired to do a a big apartment complex that's going to pay us like $150,000.
Uh-huh.
So your new bid is $150,000. If you can beat it, we'll come to you. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
what? I want to find.
I literally
find the name just so
with
you
my
can...
electrician had to put an ad on Craigslist to find some random dude to come do the work so the health department or the city could come sign off so we could open up because I couldn't get my electrician. Like, I would call him, it would immediately go to voicemail. I would leave him voicemails, would never call me back. There was work he was supposed to do in the coffee shop that he never did, and I just paid his bill because I'm like, I can't even mess with you anymore. Like,
take my money and get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the name of this electrician, just so you can know on a personal level not to hire them.
Yeah, please do. Let me know.
As soon as I see it, I'll know. It begins with an A. Wow, there's so many. It's just because there's so many like things being built.
Little video for the gram.
Little video for the gram.
For the gram.
Wow, I can't believe how many electricians there are. I'm just gonna give up on this.
Dog shit, huh?
Dog shit, total dog shit. Fucking bailed on me last minute. Didn't even tell me.
That's so unprofessional, dude.
Oh my god! In
it's such
Bellingham, the
short of
lack of
thinking, too.
professionalism.
It's
If you
disgusting.
return someone's call, it's good enough.
Don't even get me started on this because
Did not work that way in Florida.
One of my biggest pet peeves are people that don't respond to texts or messages or it's shocking how many people are in a business where they need your business to survive and they don't. It takes them 2 days to get back to you on emails. You leave a voicemail, they don't call you back. You got to chase them around. It's like, how the fuck are you?
How are you in business?
And it's so unprofessional.
Oh yes, because you charged me $8,000 for a water heater
Yeah.
that cost you $150. There it is.
I mean, I don't want to get into it, and it's like people who's like, first of all, I'm never gonna like people don't think long term. Like, I'm never gonna refer you to anybody. I'm gonna talk shit behind the scenes to other people I know who are looking to hire such and such that's in the business you're in. I'm like, don't hire that person. And it's just like the problem is there's such a high demand that there's not enough people doing it that they can get away with it. You know. Just,
but
like,
that's how it is in Bellingham. There's like
Yeah.
so many big like the infrastructure needs of Bellingham are so far behind like the population growth of Bellingham. And it's
Yeah.
funny because I moved here because I thought it was a small city.
Mhm.
My wife was like, "Oh, Bellingham's so big."
Mhm.
So it's funny the little just like there's two ways to
Where's
look
your,
at Bellingham.
where's your wife from?
She's from Cedro.
Oh, she's from Cedro. Okay.
Yeah. So she thinks Bellingham is like the big city, and I'm like, I moved here because it's under 100K people.
Uh-huh.
But like the infrastructure needs of Bellingham are so big, and like the number one that everyone knows is housing. Like
Insanely
like
stupid.
everywhere you go, like they're building like a million condos,
Oh my
and
God, dude.
like if you are building a structure, the difference in cost between something low cost and something high cost as far as construction are so small that it does not make sense to build something that's not a luxury apartment.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get rented either way.
Yeah.
So like there's just like such a backlog. Like all the electricians are busy, all the contractors are busy. I'm nearing the point where my wife is needing me to come home.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Sure.
I like checked
Well,
my phone to check
yeah.
the contractors, and she's
No
like,
worries.
dude.
Well, let's wrap this up. So, 1Up Lounge currently, well, not currently actually. We put that on hold for a little bit.
Please join our mailing list. By the time you hear this, 1-uplounge.com. Please join the mailing list. I'll shoot you an email that says, hey, we're opening back up and our facility is nicer. I don't think we're going to do in-person dining at this time.
Okay.
But we're kind of gearing up for it because winter is coming.
Okay. Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
Hashtag Game of Thrones.
Hashtag Game of Thrones. Break my heart. But we're gearing up to be able to support, some kind of in-person dining at some point. We're upgrading infrastructure. I'm sorry that I won't have barbecue for you for the next week or two. It's for the greater good, I promise. We work really hard to make all the food really, really good. Please join our mailing list. Please, if you join my mailing list, I'll send you a dank coupon. There you go.
There you go.
That's the deal. Like, I'll never send you an email that doesn't save you money. I promise.
Just sweetened it.
Sweeten the deal.
The pot.
Yeah. Please keep an eye on it. Please order. Please tell your friends. We are just like a wife and her husband are just like busting our ass trying to make sure that when all this is over, there's still a gaming lounge to come back to. Like we're working our asses off. Like I've never worked so hard in my life to only watch the amount of debt that I'm in go up. Like COVID sucks. Wear a mask. Spend money on local businesses. Try not to buy as much shit on Amazon. Just do good and be good.
And shout out to you guys again, you and your wife, just being like purebred entrepreneurs that are able to adjust and survive and become creative, because that's what I think a true like purebred entrepreneur is just, it's the creativity
Well,
of their
thank you.
mind to adjust and adapt and to see what's happening in the market, in the world, and try to navigate those waters.
And
to
same
find
to
fun.
you for being smart enough to set up,
Uh-huh.
your operation clearly has multiple revenue streams that are
Yeah.
sustaining you. Sorry for the don't buy stuff on Amazon, because you sell stuff on Amazon.
No, it's hey, I don't
Buy it
even care.
local if you can.
Yeah,
Buy it
yeah.
from Sal if you can.
Well, the thing is about buying on Amazon is you are supporting me, because it's keeping my stores open, which is keeping people employed locally, for our Oddities Amazon seller account that we do have. But anyways, yeah, thanks for coming in and doing this podcast.
Dude, my pleasure. Thanks for
talked to you
having
for another
us.
3 hours. Feel free to come back on later on down the road, when you guys, redo things, get established, or just if you ever just want to come on to talk about anything, promote anything, feel free to hit me up.
Tight.
So-
And I haven't programmed this in yet, but by the time this airs, I will have. If you use coupon code Oddities, we'll knock $5 off
There you go.
of your order. And if enough of you guys do it, we'll come back and do the show again.
Sweet, appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Sal.
Yeah,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Dude, my pleasure.
Awesome.